All right, thanks everybody. We're going to go live soon. Just putting in the final touches. What? Who's watching out there, yo? What? Hey. Sitting out my window, smoking a stogie, thinking about the times I've had with my homies. Some battles we won, some battles we lost, but we managed to stay together at all costs. Then my mind switches to only me and exactly what it takes to be an MC. Do you have to be from the ghetto or from the streets, or do you just how to know how to rock the beats? I think it's much more than that. Like Rakim said, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at and where we're at. God only knows. For me, it's about spitting my flows, speaking so I can have a voice, doing what I do, not by force, by choice. To be an MC, what does it take? You gotta have the confidence that you are not fake, you are real. What you mean, you say, and you can grab the mic on any given day. So to all y'all who think I suck, who cares what you think? I don't give a what? Who cares what you think? I don't give a fuck. Yo, it's DJ Lumberjack. I don't give a fuck. Here goes, second verse. Thanks for joining today. Vlog 19. Return of the King. What? Return of the King. Return of the King. What? Where's the second verse, y'all?
Return of the King.
Make room, please stand down. Pay honor, pay like Muslims. Strictly around the clock. Here's a compass. Orient your bearings. Just run your game. No use in comparing. It's like analyzing T-baller and Barry Bonds. We're submerged in the ocean. You're just wading in a pond. Little green frog sitting on the water. Now it's time to come clean. In front of the altar, reveal all in the past that wasn't from the soul. Creative motivation internally should be your goal. What growing inside, like the worm that you slept with as a youth. Shed all nuances. That's the truth. What's concentrated in the central processor as scavengers want a piece and be mocking you. You raise the bar, keep on climbing the rungs, just trying to get to the top when you know there's really none. Trying to get to the top when you know there's really none. All right. Thank you so much for watching. It's episode 19 of the vlog. I'm going to take a sip of water after flowing. Make sure you're drinking your water.
At least a gallon a day. That's 128 ounces. This big Nalgene is 48 ounces. So if I drink 2 of these and a little bit more, if I drink 2 of these, it's pretty much a gallon. You're doing okay. Again, if you're just joining us, if you're not familiar with the vlog, my name is Sam, DJ Lumberjack. Viral Media Network is the company. This vlog is to share with you what's going on as the shelter in place, do a little home vlogging from the home makeshift studio, talk about the issues that are coming up, talk about my feelings, and share with you some uplifting stories and also some recipes and other good stuff. Podcasts, YouTube channels, other channels, movies that I've been watching, that kind of thing. And also, if anyone knows the deal with this, let's see if I have more viewers. I had one viewer so far. Let's see if there's any more viewers. I got one person watching, so thank you so much. Hopefully we got more. Let me promote this here quickly, if you don't mind me taking some time to promote it. Oh yeah, it's a drop down. So anyways, what did I want to talk about in my monologue? I got my notes here. Excuse me, they shouldn't be here. Okay, so I just want to reiterate to continue your main routine. I know it's hard. I know it's easy to get down and to just be like, well, I can stay in my pajamas. I've definitely been in that situation before. I'm trying to shower every day, but I'm not perfect at it. But my thought about it is keep with your routine. I shaved this morning after I showered, before I showered, I shaved. That kind of thing. We want to. Sorry, I'm sharing as we're going, so that's why I pause every now and again. We want to just keep up with the daily routine. That's what's going to keep us sane. And also mix it, not just do everything to the T all the time, but be spontaneous every couple days or every week. Order out if you can afford it once a week. Go for a long drive. Take a walk somewhere around the neighborhood if you can. Do things every now and again, and then keep cleaning the house. Don't get down on yourself, but also know that it's okay to not be perfect and to not get everything done. It's okay to not be perfect, but maybe to strive. Try to be the best you can, but realize that we're all trying to get through this the best we can, and nobody's perfect. There's perfection that you strive for, but obviously no one's perfect. So you just do what you can to be the best that you can. So with that being said, let me share some more stuff with you where I think that we're going with this. Always make sure to use this time to take advantage of getting closer with your family, closer with your loved ones, whether you might be living with them or they're far away. Lots of Zoom calls, write old-fashioned letters if that helps, journal, call people the old-fashioned way, reach out to them. And there's also, get creative. Like, you can't maybe be physically in touch with people, but, if you can meet somewhere in your cars and talk, 6 feet away in your parked cars, that kind of thing, or, share with your neighbors. I want to share with you a blessing of a story. Yesterday was Easter. Happy Passover to those that practice Passover or celebrate Passover, observe Passover, I should say. I don't know if you necessarily celebrate the same way you celebrate Easter, but regardless, it's a big weekend for most religions of this time. I believe Hindus have a similar holiday over the time, and I believe Ramadan is the same time, but I could be totally wrong. So please excuse me to all my Muslim brothers and sisters. But regardless, our neighbor across the street, we were having a wonderful Easter at our home. We had a little Easter egg hunt in the backyard for our daughter. And we have plenty of food in the fridge, just from stocking up and making these meals, leftovers and things, but we didn't really have a plan. We were just going to sort of hodgepodge stuff, which I think is also important. Don't, like I said on Thursday or Friday, by the way, did you like the Crusher takeover? Tell me. Crusher's going to be doing more videos on Viral Media Network 415. Again, that's the channel you're watching, so make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below. So hopefully you like the Crusher takeover, but me, Sam Jack, is back. And there are some similarities. I don't know if you could tell. But anyways, our neighbor across the street, getting back to the story. I get sidetracked a lot on this if you haven't figured that out. But anyways, our neighbor across the street, hey, I got something for you. We're always trading food and things like this. She had a whole Easter meal that she had made, and she had an extra for us, which is just the sweetest thing you could ever imagine. And so I want to thank her for that. We've got some great recipes to check out today, but basically that story is all about the kindness of your neighbors, and we're really taking this opportunity to get to know our neighbors more, get to share things, just get tighter as a community. When we were so busy with work, we really didn't have that opportunity. So I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with people getting sick, the coronavirus, but I think it's best for us, if we are healthy, if you are staying healthy, to keep the positive attitude, keep pushing along, keep sharing ideas, keep coming up with innovative ways to get some exercise, get out there. I've shared some exercises in the description of here. Of course, there is what I like to do in the morning, the 7 Minutes of Magic by Lee Holden. The link to his YouTube page is in this description. You have your own way. That's great. Make sure to stay healthy, whether it's just simple stretching, yoga, jumping jacks, basic calisthenics, going for a run. All that kind of stuff is good, and you can do it in an isolated distancing situation. We also want to encourage you to get out there, keeping your distance from people, but you can utilize parks and things like that. We also have something to share on that. The city of Oakland shut down 74 miles of Oakland City streets to cars. So as long as you keep your 6 feet distance outside and wear protective gear, mask, that kind of thing, you're able to go out into the streets with your bike, skateboard, rollerblades, if people still do that, walking, strollers, that kind of thing. So there's enough distance, because sidewalks are too small in order to keep that 6 foot distance. So Mayor Libby Shaft and Rebecca Kaplan, council member, I should say, we've sort of ungendered, I should say, or degendered those classifications, council member. But anyways, I want to talk about that later. But so get creative in your ways of keeping your social distance, but also being able to get out of the house every now and again. And also, if you feel like you're stuck at home, really look at how have you created your home? How have you created your dwelling in a comfortable way that you really feel? I mean, for me and my wife, as you can see, there's lots of stuff around. See that gong? That's a gong in the background from the late 1800s. That's part of the stuff she's selling. Again, check out thedarkdish.com. Or sorry, she doesn't even have a website. Excuse me. Check out the Dark Dish on Cherish. That's Cherish, like the chair you sit in, or on eBay. She sells goods like that. So definitely check that out. And where was I going with this? Oh, our house. So we have books, videos, comics, art supplies, great stuff to cook with. This is the stuff we've surrounded our house with in order to love what we do here at our house. So hopefully you can do that at your home if you haven't already, and really, we have the time to do this. So let's move on. Let's get to, I've talked enough in my monologue. I'm going to move on to our daily topics. And we always start off the show, always start off the show shouting out our essential workers, because we know that the essential workers are the people that are still working out there in harm's way, at the hospitals, at the Amazon factories, at the post office, at these restaurants we love, picking our fruit, picking our vegetables, working in factories, to keep those chains of food going, all that kind of stuff. So thank you. We got construction workers outside of our house that are working on our sewer lines, bus drivers, working in social services, working at the DMV. Thank you, essential workers. Thank you for putting yourselves at risk, but also trying to stay healthy in this pandemic, and also helping this economy still work. So thank you. And we always shout that out as our first topic of the day. The next topic we want to talk about is, we talked a little bit about this on Friday and another day, but the environment is cleaner. We've noticed that. People are commuting less, not driving as much. And I mentioned, and I forgot what city it was, but I found the article. But you can now see the Himalayas in India for the first time in 30 years. So here is a... well, you don't want to see that. You want to see this. So here's the article here. It's on themindunleashed.com, which, this is just a Facebook post that I found that... So for the first time in 30 years, some parts of India can see the Himalayas. Himalayas are visible for the first time in 30 years. For some parts of India on lockdown. So I think that's just amazing. I think that, these are the kind of things that we're finding that are oddly enough the good thing about this shelter in place. And, when we get back to quote unquote life as normal, is this the new normal? Hopefully, these kind of benefits are. I mean, look at this shot of the Himalayas here. And, this is obviously from a rural area. But I don't know how to pronounce this word, but Daladar mountain range is visible, which is, I think, are the closest mountain range in the Himalayas. But yeah, places like China, where we know, is super polluted. Isn't. So here's a famous cricket player from India saying, "Never seen the Larder Range from my home rooftop in Jalandhar. Never could imagine that's possible. Clear indication of the impact the pollution has done to us on Mother Earth. This is the view." So it's very interesting, that's the case, and I think that again, these are the kind of things we want to be looking at as far as benefits of what's going on, because it's too easy to get wrapped up in how many cases, how many deaths. We can't control that. The only thing we can control is ourselves and our actions, and hopefully trying to influence other people. But you can't change people's minds. You can only show them examples of how things have gone. So long story short, continue to shelter in place, continue to social distance. But these are the kind of benefits, and also, like I said, getting back to the time you have with your family, the time to create that home and that dwelling that you love, the time to reach out to friends that you haven't, the time to do all those lost projects that you didn't have time to before, and that kind of thing. So so this environment getting better is a great thing. The next topic I want to talk about is the 3-month mortgage freeze. We're currently, some people are renters, some people own homes. Hopefully, if you do rent, you have an understandable landlord that knows. Sorry, I get a little distracted here. I was queuing up music for later, but hopefully you have a landlord, if you do rent, that is understandable about maybe you're not making as much money, a little lenient on the rent. For mortgages, as you probably heard, I talk a little bit about this on the show. there's been a 3-month freeze, and we finally qualified, and we got the details in the mail from Wells Fargo. Yeah, our mortgage is through Wells Fargo, which is great. Wasn't it under our control? Our original lender sold it to Wells Fargo. It's a little convenient because I already had a business account with Wells Fargo, so we can pay the mortgage through our account, which is handy. But and I don't think this is just for Wells Fargo, but some of the details, I don't know if this 3-month freeze is all it's cracked up to be. I mean, I don't know if we have a choice because I'm not necessarily working. I am not working, but I won't have necessarily funds. Funds are up in the air. Getting income are up in the air after April 15th. I've shared on the show that my main employer, the NBC Sports Bay Area, that broadcasts the games that I work on, that are the is the station that broadcasts the games that I'm on their crew. They've committed to pay me and the rest of the crew through April 15th of the games that were canceled. So thank you so much again. But after that, I'm going to have to go, complete freelance. And a lot of the freelance stuff I do is events. So I've gotten on Fever. I've gotten on Upwork, which I recommend. I haven't fully listed. I need to get back into that. Also, Viral Media Networks is still doing videos. So, I also want to share that a little bit later. But basically, I got this letter from Wells Fargo, and a lot of the fine print was saying, okay, well, obviously, this was known. You're still going to have to pay for the 3 months on the back end, but and you're not going to get fees. You're not going to get well, you might get interest. It doesn't say. That's what I need to find out. Are we still accruing the interest over the 3 months, or is it a complete freeze? We won't get penalized. We won't get any late fees, that kind of thing. But we might still get reported to our creditor, the credit bureau. But the main thing that I'm concerned about is what I heard, that it might affect the loan in the long term. It might affect you being able to refinance. It might affect, we have PMI, private mortgage insurance, or something like that. And basically because we didn't put 20% down, we have to pay this fee every month, this insurance fee. Well, we want to drop that eventually. And getting on this 3-month thing might affect that. So anyways, I just want to say, if you're in this situation like we are, really look after it, really get after it, try and negotiate with your mortgage folks. We signed up for it, but now that we got the paperwork, I need to find out more info because honestly, I can't, I don't want this affecting our credit. We want to be able to refinance when it's all said and done. So, that's all I'm going to say on that. So, that's the next. That's the topic for that. The next topic we want to talk about, I believe, do I have the RZA and did anyone else watch the RZA and Primo quote unquote battle? Oh no, sorry. We want to talk about free HBO first. I mentioned this on this show a couple episodes ago. By the way, this is our 5th week, not only in shelter in place, but our 5th week doing the vlog. So thank you so much for supporting it. We're just going to continue on, and hopefully even after the shelter in place gets lifted, we can still do this vlog. It might not be every day. It might be once a week, depending on how my schedule goes. We have moved this again to, I'm pausing the topics because I should have mentioned this at the top of the show. But anyways, we moved the time to 3 p.m. It now works better for our schedule. Still, managing childcare between my wife and I, and as far as so she can work and I can do this and prepare for it. And we also want to thank our niece who's helping us with the childcare as well. But I also feel like more people might watch in this later afternoon time. So do we have more people watching? I think we just have one so far, but hopefully more will join. So back to the next topic. Free HBO. I mentioned this earlier in April, but now it's mid-April already. I believe it goes to the end of April. It might get continued because of the popularity and because the shelter in place continues. But basically, HBO is offering free shows, but it's not on their app. It's not on HBO Go, and it's not on HBO Now. It's on, as it says here in the graphic, it's on the Roku channel. So if you don't have a Roku, I'm not sure if this applies, so I apologize. You might still be able to find it on Fire Stick if on the Fire Stick there's like a home app or an Amazon, not an Amazon Prime app, but like, a Fire Stick channel or who knows. But basically, if you have a Roku, you go to the Roku channel, you open up the Roku channel, you got to look, there's like a premium playlist or an HBO playlist, and it'll have, we never watched Game of Thrones, okay? Shocker, but we never had HBO, so we just never got into the series. So we watched the first episode, we were kind of into it, okay, we want to watch more, we just haven't. We watched the first episode of Watchmen, which is awesome. We're big fans of Watchmen, the movie, the comic book, and this new interpretation is great. We only watched the first episode because we actually got more into Westworld. We've watched about 5 or 6 episodes of Westworld. Westworld is fantastic. If you don't know, I recommend looking up the original movie, which has Yul Brynner in it of the King and I fame. But if you don't know the premise of Westworld, it's been on for about, I want to say 3 or 4 seasons, maybe even 5 seasons at this point. But the whole premise of the show is there's a sort of Disneyland type amusement park, but it's very interactive. It's super interactive. There's robots that run in this Wild West town, Westworld. And you go as a guest. They're called hosts. The robots are called hosts. They're super intelligent, like android, kind of like robot cyborg type. They look superhuman and they interact with the guests, and it's like to get that real Western feel and sort of escape life, which I'm sure a lot of us would really appreciate, during these current times. But things go awry. They break their code. They sort of start thinking for themselves, the robots, that is. And it's just a great show. But I really recommend the movie. Of course, it was done in the 70s. So the special effects are, not what they are in the HBO show, but it's really a great movie too. And Yul Brynner is a classic actor of that time. Of course, if you know him from The King and I, of course he put on I don't know if it's called blackface because he's a white guy that pretended to be an Asian king, which isn't too PC these days, but he still has a great performance in that. So yeah, free HBO, and that's how you get it. Go to the Roku channel. And so finally, as I mentioned before, I got my topics out of order, but the last topic of the day is the RZA versus Primo battle on IG. And I have a little clip of it here we can watch. But I guess I don't know the format of these. But I was like, this is not a battle. This is just like them playing. So I guess they had produced all these. Sorry, I'm just going to make this a little better here, this graphic. I was expecting like a DJ battle, like, right? And then, like real DJ battles, they have like a couple minute set, and then the next guy does it. But really, they were just playing a song, and then the next guy would play a song, that kind of thing. I guess it's more about showcasing, as it was explained to me on Facebook. Basically, they're showcasing songs that they had produced. So let's watch a little bit of this. And this is on the Wu-Tang YouTube channel. So I'm just kind of critiquing this and giving it a review. Like, why can't anyone hook up their sound directly to their live stream? Like, whether it be on their computer or their phone, you could take an out. By the way, did you notice how RZA was playing
when I heard that song,
Afro Samurai in the back?
Nothing is harder than that. Shame on the nigga was so well done. Well done. Thank you, Big Bro. Everybody, just the trade-offs with Old Dirty and Meth and Ray. Woo!
So I think a lot of people appreciated this just because of like all the hits that they played and all the classics. But they were just playing songs and then bobbing their head, which I guess is cool. But see, there's all these pauses.
Where we at? Let's see. I'm gonna go
you know, and all this stuff. I thought they were gonna come correct with like a real performance.
Yo, who's keeping count for me, yo? Yeah, I'm throwing them in a folder. I'm throwing them in a folder, so this is gonna be the sixth one. Okay. But that was six for him.
But like, you know, the sound isn't clean. Like, why aren't they using microphones? You know, I don't know. Maybe there's just the audio file in me, but you know, and everyone's a critic. This show is definitely not the technical wizard.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this right here.
But see all these pauses? Like, come on, man. You guys are like professionals, man. You should be coming with like some, you know, I know they came with hits, but as far as like.
Shout out to these two incredible creative MCs, had their own image, and definitely started a style that made everybody start rhyming like them. Diggity Dots Effects.
So you get the idea. And as it was explained to me, this is what these battles are like. So I guess I'm just not familiar with them. But like, dude, come on! Like, didn't you want to see Primo just like, and then like, you know, do like a little like 30-second, 1-minute bit, and then pass it over to RZA. RZA try to top it, but I guess it wasn't. I guess that's not what the DJ battles are all about. So I don't know. I guess I'm just, you know, thinking of something else when I should be expecting. It was cool, all the different songs they played. You know, and I think at the end, especially RZA played some stuff that we hadn't heard before, kind of some underground, unreleased stuff. So that was really, really sick. But yeah, it just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't like what I wanted to watch. Like, I was like, dude, like, come on, like, let's bring it. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Let's move on, shall we? All right, so the next thing I want to share is, I saw this on Facebook. A lot of the stuff I see on Facebook from people's feeds, I'm like, oh, that would be good content for the show. So I'm kind of culture vulturing here, but hey, you know what? They're not doing a show, so what are you going to do? The recipe of the day and the link to this recipe is in the description. Bourbon bacon chocolate chip cookies. This just looked fantastic. I haven't tried it yet, but I had to share it. The link is in the description. Basically, I would assume, having not really studied the recipe that well, I'll go to the screenshot of it here. And the recipe is on this website. It's kind of funny. It's called Recipe Girl. So I don't know, like, I don't know. I'm sure there's like men recipe, you know, like websites that are like, oh, recipes for the guys, but like, I think it's, you know, a little sexist. The guy, I love to cook. So anyways, here's this picture. I would assume it's basically like a basic cookie recipe, but you add, you know, Maker's Mark or whatever kind of bourbon you want with bacon. And I mean, that just looks delicious, right? Look at these pictures. The recipe is down here at the bottom. But yeah, basically, let's see. Thick cut bacon, flour, baking soda, salt, baking soda, baking powder, butter, bacon fat. You know, you want to cook it. Or I guess you want some of the bacon fat in the cookies. White sugar, brown sugar, bourbon, vanilla extract, eggs, and chocolate. So yeah, it seems like it's a basic chocolate chip recipe with those, with the bacon and the bourbon added. So I'm not sure if you have to, you know, maybe you have less, more flour because you don't want the eggs too liquidy with the bourbon. Anyways, check out the link in. And it says, don't use turkey bacon for this recipe. Ick. I love that. So here's some calorie, nutritional information. And it says, too, that you can freeze them for up to 6 weeks. Now, in a zip bag. So I mentioned this on my earlier shows that, so that's that. And those are the, you know, that kind of wraps up the topics of the day. But gives me a little segue to get on my high horse and talk about, by the way, if you want to follow us on Facebook or Instagram, I'll bring up that right now. Just give me a sec here. It's at viralmedia.network for Instagram, and it's, oh yeah, that doesn't look too good. Let me do this. Excuse me. Let me just fix this real quick. I've talked to on this show before about, Let's move this over. Let's move this over. Oh, I know why. Whoops. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all. The reason that looks like that is because it's not supposed to be there with the bug. Boom. How about that? ViralMediaNetwork.com, at viralmedia.network, or 3-word search for us on Facebook. Find us on Facebook, Viral Media Network. I talked before on the show about reducing plastic and our journey to try and reduce plastic. We're not perfect at it at all. But let me bring up the pictures here. I had mentioned the zip. I had shown on a previous show the reusable Ziploc bags that we got from Amazon. I just wanted to share, and I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm bringing up the pictures now. I should have had them pre-opened, but excuse me. So I'm going to open them up now on my desktop, and basically, so reusable Ziploc bags, they're BPA free. I believe they're made from latex. They're great. I showed them. The link is in the description today as well. But I also mentioned reusable trash bags. So I finally took a picture of. Whoops. No. Desktop pictures. No. Photos. No. Sorry, I'm just trying to duck. Preview. That's what. There we go. All right. So let's do this. Let's move that over a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. All right. So this is not only I was talking about the reusable Ziplocs. This is a reusable trash bag that we got. And this was on Amazon too. The link is in our bio. And you can get cool designs like this owl thing, this owl design. This is what it looks like. It's actually pretty big. We have I think a 13-gallon trash bag. And so I'm just trying to find the other picture here. Oh, here it is. And that's what it looks like in the trash can. So instead of using, plastic trash bags, you use a reusable one. And, it's a little tricky when you take it out to the street bin because, it's not all contained in a plastic bag at all. So you got to be careful putting it in the street bin, the big rolly bin, the big trash bin. But you reduce your plastic, and you feel better about yourself. And you do have to clean it every now and again because all the schmeg that gets in there, all the juices and whatnot. But you notice too that that silver can is our recycling, and our trash can is smaller. So the idea being we're trying to not put as much in the waste and recycle more and put more in the compost bin. We talked about the compost. I'll talk more about that tomorrow, but I want to move on to some recommendations. But basically, I wanted to share with you what a reusable trash bag look like. If you didn't know already, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's fun. You can get cool designs, and you just feel better. You don't always have, and it's a one-time purchase. Maybe it might deteriorate, and you have to buy a new one eventually. But it's really thick. It's got like a lining on the inside to help, things, stains and stick it, and then you just throw it in the washing machine to wash it. So I think it's great. I recommend it, and I'll be sharing with you more stuff. And again, we're not perfect. This is our journey as we get better in being more sustainable. So it's just something we want to share with you. So moving on, let's talk about the good deed of the day. I talked about how Mayor Libby Schaaf and some council members. This isn't technically the good deed of the day. We'll get to that in a sec, because it is another Bay Area. It has to do with City Light Books staying open with a huge crowdfunding campaign, sort of like what we heard on our new podcast with Rob Reddy and Piano Fight. Excuse me, I'm just trying to. Why won't this show? All right, let's go there. Give me a sec. Let me bring this up. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, there we go. So yeah. Oh, now I need to move this back over. Excuse me. There we go. All right. So, that's still not that good. Let's do this better. There we go. So yeah, 74 miles. Let me scroll this up here. 74 miles of Oakland streets will close cars to give walkers, bicyclists exercise room during coronavirus stay at home. So I talked about this at the beginning of the show. Check this out. This is on SF Chronicle. And again, sidewalks aren't, if you see someone on the sidewalk, you got to go into the street to maintain the 6 feet distance. So what they did in Oakland is they shut down a lot of the streets, 74 miles. And this is just temporary. Opening more space for pedestrians and bicyclists to use the roadways for exercise during the coronavirus stay-at-home measures. So I think that's a great thing. But the act of good deed, so that I just wanted to mention that and show you the actual article that I got this from that I was talking about at the top of the show. But the actual good deed of the day that I wanted to share is the City Lights bookstore, which is a very famous bookstore in North Beach in San Francisco. 60 years. If you didn't know, this is basically the birthplace. I wouldn't say the birthplace, but a very key, I'll call it the birthplace of the beat movement. Allen Ginsberg, Jack Kerouac, Gary Snyder, all these guys congregated here at City Lights bookstore, and there was tons of poetry readings, book readings, protests. They say it's in Chinatown. It's actually in Chinatown at the border of North Beach. All right, I'll give it that. But it's a beacon for writers, literary intellectuals, and book lovers of all kinds for almost 70 years, and it was nearly broke and on the verge of closing permanently. But, it had to close its doors March 16th because of the stay-at-home orders. So there was the GoFundMe put on by Elaine Katzenberger. She's a publisher and the CEO of City Light Booksellers and Publishers. That there was $365,000 raised, which is really awesome. And if you didn't know, City Lights was founded in 1953 by Peter D. Martin and poet Lawrence Ferlinghetti. And it's just been, and it's where the most famous thing it's known for is where, excuse me for all these ads here, but Allen Ginsberg published Howl and other poems from the City Lights publishing wing of the bookstore. And it had this huge obscenity trial in 1956. And of course, he read it there live at City Lights. So that's probably the most, but that's a wonderful. And then here he is today. Here's the Michael Ian Black, who is a famous actor and comedian. He posted this, and it's just tremendous. This is today's act good deed. You probably heard about this, but $365,000 were made in donations on a single day, and there's probably more still coming. So kudos to them, and I would say support your local bookstore. If not them, for us, it's Walden Pond Books, which is a small independent bookstore here on Grand Avenue in Oakland. You can order their books through a place called Bookshop, or you can call them directly, and they have curbside pickup. So I'm going to order my daughter's first birthday is this Friday, so I'm going to order her some Dr. Seuss books from them and pick those up later today. So I think that's just tremendous that the City Lights bookstore stayed open. So that's our good deed of the day. We're going to move on to some recommendations. If you guys are with me, who's still with me? Are we still out there? Who's still out there? We still got a dedicated watcher, don't we? So I'm pretty sure that's my buddy Graham. Thank you so much, Graham, for watching. Hopefully there are more people out there watching. And maybe you're catching this after it goes live. Either way, we love you, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. So it'll just take me a sec to bring up this graphic, but our first YouTube recommendation of the day is This guy John Morrison, who I'm not familiar with. I don't know. Again, my friend Danny King, who's an artist, who will be a guest on our podcast. He posted this guy John Morrison. Now, if you're a wrestling fan like me, you might be thinking John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Mundo, different John Morrison. Okay, but basically he does mashups of like 80s 80s songs with hip hop. So here's an Outkast prototype, and let's just watch this preview here. See what you guys think. So check this out. John Morrison is the YouTube page, and I'll hit play here so we can all see it. Oh, come on. So you can see he takes a gem cartoon, and he mixed it with an Outkast jam, which I think is pretty cool. So here he is, John Morrison. I'm gonna play another video by his so you get the idea. Let's see what else he's got. So he does these cool mashups.
Check in with me and do your job. Ferg is a name. Bullet did the chain. Torn off for the watch. Prezi playing Jane. Yamagini chain. Rest in peace to my superior. Hermes Linga feed a village in Liberia. TMZ taking pictures causing mad hysteria. Mama see me on BT and start tearing up. I'ma start killing niggas. How you get that triumph? I attended Harlem picnics where you risk your life. Uncle used to skim work, selling nicks at night. I was only 8 years old watching Nick at night. Uncle Psycho was in that bathroom bugging. Knife to his gut, hope that he don't cut him. Suicidal thoughts brought to me with no advisory. He was pitching dummies, selling fiends, mad ivory. Grandma had the arthritis in her.
Yeah, so you get the idea. I recommend him, John Morrison. The other one I want to recommend, who I've recommended before on this show, is Last Week Tonight by John Oliver. And again, this is an HBO thing, but other than, I don't know, this is part of the HBO, the HBO free. I always watch his clips on YouTube, so that's why I'm promoting it here on YouTube. Take that off. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Specifically, he's got a new one about the corona outbreak. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, as far as talking about essential workers.
Hello there. Welcome once again to our show, still taking place inside this white void. Honestly,
So here he is.
I'm calling it a white void. Answered about your safety net of when will it be there and how big are the holes? And the obvious problem is, if help takes months to come.
So he's talking a lot about the unemployed here, and
to be fair, no program of this size was ever going to have a perfect rollout. But this is yet another area
make
where
this a little smaller so you can
administration
see it
could be
better.
preparing for this much, much sooner. And it definitely doesn't help.
There, is that better?
The director of the National Economic Council, Larry Kudlow, downplayed complaints like this.
My wife, Judy, whom you know, and she is a self-employed artist.
So he talks about a lot of issues that are going on with.
She could use some help for her operation, and she.
So you get the idea. Again, you get the idea, but I really recommend checking that out. And check on your check on the Roku station if you can get free HBO with that. So Really recommend that. We talked about the good deed of the day. The podcasts I want to recommend are some that are a little silly, but I definitely think they're great. Let me turn this off. Boom, 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 boom. I don't want that logo on. Office Ladies is a podcast that I would recommend. It is with Angela and Pam, the actresses, Jenna Fisher and Angela. I forget her last name. That's her real name, but her last name is something different than the show. But they basically review the Office episodes and kind of break them down and kind of look at them deeper. So it's really funny, and they're real friends in real life. So it's just kind of funny and to hear their banter, and they just got a great rapport together. So that's that. I don't have a book recommendation of the day, but I do have music recommendation of the day, and that's from my boy Hednotic. And Hednotic, if you don't know, was the producer. I guess he still technically is. I don't know if they're still putting out music together, but if you ever heard of the wonderful band Crown City Rockers, he was the producer, and I think he played almost any instrument not covered by the rest of the band. I guess this album came out in 2012. I didn't know, but I think he's re-promoting all his stuff because of the shelter in place. But he's currently promoting this on Instagram, and I was listening to some tracks, and it's just really super dope. So let's take a listen here. You can find this on Spotify, Amazon, I believe iTunes Music, SoundCloud, all this kind of stuff. If you need more links, hit me. I put a link in the bio. I guess I can't listen for free if I haven't signed up. Can I log in? Oh my goodness. I'll just continue with Facebook for now. Will that work? Will that work? All right, let's try this again. Ooh, isn't that funky though? Ooh! Just that synth. So there's a bunch of great. Look how many tracks there are on this. It's really awesome. Yeah, so he did put it out in 2012, so it's not the newest thing, but it's just a killer album, and I think that y'all should check it out. So he's promoting it now, so there must be a reason that he's re-promoting this stuff, but I think it's also like looking back at all this stuff that he's done now that he's shelter in place, and a lot of the people that were in Crown City Rockers are on this album. So I really recommend checking that out. Hednotic. Do your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. Shout out to Hednotic and Crown City Rockers, for sure. So that's pretty much going to do it for the show. I wanted to remind you that I am Sam DJ Lumberjack, and this is the 15th. This is the 19th blog. It's the 5th week. That's what I was thinking. So I'm Sam DJ Lumberjack. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video on Viral Media Network 415 is the page. And if you want to follow us on Instagram or find us on Facebook, you can do so here at viralmedia.network or Viral Media Network, 3 words, search for it on Facebook or viralmedianetwork.com. You can send me an email, sam at viralmedianetwork.com. And I just want to end this show by saying thank you again for watching. Stay healthy, stay happy, Stay active. Keep drinking your water. Eat lots of yummy food. It's okay if you slip up every now and again. If you can afford it, go out to eat every now and again. Support your community. Practice social distancing. But get out there, get some sunshine, get some exercise. We'll see you tomorrow at our new time, 3 p.m., live here on our YouTube channel, Viral Media Network 415. With that, I'm going to sign off. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Central Time. Thank you so much.